Hey family, Dr. Tracy Bennett, and it is week 14 of your GKIS program. So today we're going to talk about red flags for bad actors online. So what do I mean by bad actors online? Unfortunately, online, you can't always tell if somebody's sneaking or lying or posing as somebody else. So somebody might be really nice and be asking you about things you're interested in. Maybe they like puppies, or maybe they like horses, or they like science, or whatever it is you're into. Just because somebody's nice to you doesn't mean that they have nice intentions. People can start out as friends and end up being somebody that could hurt you. And one thing that kids often don't realize is that it can be other kids and teenagers. It's not just adults who hurt kids online, it's also kids and teens. So I want to educate you about some things to look out for that might signal that somebody is not who you think they are online. And that's why it's important for you to also run your friends and buddies and contacts through your parents, especially if you're younger. And as teens, you guys are going to have to get much smarter about how to identify these signals. So here we go. Let's talk about some red flags. Okay, so 1 in 4 kids run into something upsetting online. I think it's even higher. Sometimes it's hard to tell who's your friend and who's a person intending to trick or hurt you. So we're going to talk about things to look out for. If any of these things happen when you're online, ask your parents so that they can check it out. Even better, it's important for parents to check in at any time, especially if it feels like something's weird. So kids, even if you've already made a mistake by talking to that person, go ask your parents anyway, and you guys can work it out together. So here's some things to look out for to suggest that the person online isn't who you think it is. Maybe somebody pops up unexpectedly on screen and tries to talk to you. Right from the beginning, you should be really thinking, oh my gosh, should I be interacting with this person? Maybe that person even says that their name and picture is somebody that you know already. But if they're acting weird or they can't answer a question your friend would answer, it could be somebody posing as your friend. If somebody asks you to take or send a photo or video, that's something you should probably run by your parents. Oftentimes, bad actors online will ask personal questions, meaning questions about you that are kind of private, like if your parents are home, or where your parents work, or where you live, what school do you go to, or what church do you attend. Maybe they ask you what activities or sports you participate in and the name of your team. Predator is somebody who's a bad actor online because they predate you or kind of stalk kids and teens, and they can also stalk and predate on adults. So other questions they might ask are, how old are you? Do you have brothers and sisters? What's the names of your friends and relatives? Do your parents read your texts or emails? If they ask, what are you wearing, or anything too personal, that's a red flag that maybe go talk to somebody you trust to make sure that everything's okay. Do they attempt to get you to disclose opinions or feelings about your friends and family? So in other words, do they say, is your dad mean to you? Does your mom understand you? These kind of questions are called fishing, like fishing. They pull the bait out or they throw the bait out and then they kind of reel you in slowly. That's why it's called fishing. And whatever information they get from you, they may threaten you with it later. Like, if you don't do what I want, then I'm going to tell your dad what you said about him, or I'm going to tell your best friend what you said about her. So be really careful about fishing because they might out you later. Another question or red flag is, if they ask to meet you somewhere in real life, that should be a definite no can do. Or if they mention anything that makes you feel nervous or confused, remember that all of us have an inner voice that often tells us something is wrong. So if your inner voice is like, this feels weird, or that doesn't seem like a normal question, trust your gut. Trust what your heart, your stomach, what your body, your thoughts are telling you, and go check it out with somebody. So I don't, it's not like predators are lurking around every corner in your offline neighborhoods, and they're not in your online neighborhoods either. But sometimes predators go hang out where kids hang out, on video games or on social media platforms or in chat rooms. And it's important for you guys to be super smart and very aware of how to avoid that kind of trouble, because it may feel like it's safe because it's behind a screen, but oftentimes it isn't. So I hope that information is helpful to you. And if you're a teenager, I also supply more in-depth red flags for teens. And for your family exercise this week, go over those with your parents. And don't forget to follow up with something fun, so it's as much of a party as it is a teaching opportunity. I love that you guys are getting smarter and that you can be healthier online and that you're talking about this really hard stuff. And I have lots of articles for you to read. If you're a teenager, just ask your parents. I already gave them the link. All right, I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Dr. Tracy Bennett.